The title of this video says I'm done.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour might be in Europe, but that's not going to stop us from telling you everything you need to know from over the weekend. We're the disc golf world after all. I'm Jefferson, and alongside me as always, the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese. But before we can get into the Croco Open, I gotta thank all the Disgenerates for supporting us on Patreon and our members. Without you, we wouldn't be able to go to Ledgestone, so thanks. Yesterday, Eagle McMahon made an announcement to his fans over on his second channel, Eagle Unlimited. No, this time he wasn't limp-syncing in a dragon tail onesie. I only have enough room in my brain for one of those things. Instead, he went on to say this.
It means that I don't think I want to make these recap videos anymore as I'm doing a recap video. I don't want to feel like I need to talk about how this past week went each and every week. And I expect myself to do it, and I don't want to. I don't think I like doing it. And I'm trying to approach disc golf with a little bit more neutral mindset and not dwell on each situation so much, even though that's like the toughest thing to do.
I don't fault Eagle for not wanting to give the same recaps after each tournament. Clearly, he has much more creative ideas, so I understand not wanting to do the same basic stuff every week. He makes a mention of media obligations, which definitely can take away some of the fun parts of making content. As soon as it becomes a requirement instead of enjoyment, what's the point? Especially when Eagle isn't doing this for the side hustle. Let us know in the comments if you're upset about the news. I guess you'll just have to stick to all the Instagram posts pros make on Monday morning talking how sad they are about how their performance went. However, you shouldn't be too alarmed because this doesn't mean Eagle is done posting videos, so stay tuned for his next cosplay. On a positive side, it sounds as if he's taking his game more serious than ever. He talks about being easier on his body as well as his mentality on and off the course. And the reason he's done with the recaps is because he wants to stay more neutral-minded and no longer dwell on the past. Another big thing I took away from the video was Eagle made a mention of changing his phone lock screen to make it a reminder not to listen to the comments, stating that some that he read this past weekend put him in a bad mindset for the Croco Open, which makes me feel like kind of a dick for some of the things I've been saying. Whatever, moving on. Parker Welck had an interesting tournament at the Kansas City Wide Open. After the first round, he found himself on lead card. Unfortunately, however, on day 2, he couldn't find his car. And that's because someone stole it, which already sucks, but remember, he lives in that van, so all of his belongings were in there, including his disc golf bag. Thankfully, he was lent some discs for round 2, and better yet, well, I'll let him finish the crazy story.
The night that my car got stolen, there was a bunch of paperwork on the ground that wasn't from my car. We looked at it. It was another dude's Kia that was stolen. Ended up calling that guy. He said, like, yeah, dude, that's my stuff. Like, my Kia got stolen too. And he ended up finding his car yesterday as well. And in his car, you will not believe this. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? It was in the other dude's stolen Kia. I don't know why. Don't know how. I'm just blown away. I can't believe I got my bag back. I can't believe it. I'm only 7 back today in today's final round of the tournament, and I don't even.
Before I talk about the beautiful course, drop a comment on how you felt about Croco. I've seen comments all around social media saying more courses need to be like this, and the dgpt should be bringing this vibe to the US. Much easier said than done, but I was blown away by the course too, so I understand why we should replicate the style. We don't need 1,000-foot plus holes that are destroying arms. Rather, make holes more complex to add danger, elevation, shot shaping, basically everything Croco has, and you got yourself one, if not the best course in the damn world. The only really negative I saw talked about was the tee-pad on hole 4 and a possible cliff diving accident, but other than that, not a single complaint, which is pretty rare. The Disc Golf Pro Tour should be taking notes from the event. Still wondering why? Swiss, hit the people with the FPO recap.
Beth at 69. I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable.
This is what athletes live for. This is the moment. With the Crocole Open featuring Kristen Tatar's return from only an injury, wedding planning, business startups, vacationing, and her budding Estonian socialite status, all the eyes would be watching Tatar in the FPO this weekend. Yet with Silva Saarinen dominating the European events in Tatar's stay, the Crocole Open would be far more than just a Tatar celebratory return to dominance from over 2.5 months off the tour, as many were just as interested in what Silva's response and play would be with Kristen's return to the field, as much as how well Tatar would play from missing that much time. And with both of them on feature card, it would play out for all of us to see. The two's performance would completely devour the entire weekend's narrative, completely overshadowing Heidi Laney's Eagles, Annika Steen and Rachel Turton's Day 1, Kati Tati making a lead card, and even Anneli Tugas Manati's pink hair. All the eyes and talk were on Silva and Tatar, though. Silva would respond with a hot round on day 1, a 6-under that tied the course record, clean from C1's putting green, and apart from 2 OB throws and missing from C2, looked not only in as much control as her past European wins, but more importantly, showed little to no nerves with Tatar's presence. Rather simply played to her strengths, as the two looked nearly robotic, showing little emotion in their dismantling of this gorgeous property, which is #1 in the world if you haven't heard by now, made abundantly clear by the mention of it several times in the broadcast. Just about as much as those Latitude 64 commercials. Tatar's performance was more up and down, as could be expected, needing to knock off the rust in her first round back. Registered 4 bogeys, 3 OB shots, was off at times, yet showed glimpses of her dominating play, with some classic huge putts from C2. Her forehand approach looked as though she missed no time at all, but would still finish off the lead card in 3 strokes back of Silva. From there, simply put, Tatar would shut down any questioning of her dominance, would only go on to score a total of 4 more bogeys over the next 2 days, over 1,000 rated rounds, the only player to do so, and shot the course record on moving day with a 7-under. And that was after a blow-up on 18 with 2 OB throws and a bogey. Would have a share of the lead heading into the final day with all the momentum. But with poor weather and rain anticipated on this track, many expected a battle still. And credit Silva, who displayed she would not go down without a fight, actually taking an early 2-stroke lead on the final day after hole 4. Yet Tatar would not only close that gap, but take the solo lead a mere 3 holes later, never looking back from there, following her course record-setting 7-under day 2 with a 6-under in far worse conditions. Was one of only 3 players to shoot under on the day, and finished 4 strokes better than Anneli Tugas Manasti, who actually moved up 2 spots with that round onto the podium after Annika Steen's bogey on 18. It is Anneli's first dgpt podium of her career. One of the best Estonian players just started a sponsorship with Innova this year. Though she has yet to make the leap to the States, will do so in Virginia later this year at the World Championship, but has already shown strong play and consistency over this European swing this and last year. For Tatar, the warm-up could not be a better sign heading into the European Open this week. Led in nearly every category off the tee, including strokes tee to green. That, and despite Silva's C1X putting, was still able to finish ahead of her in total strokes gained putting. Sure, the competition field only gets more difficult with Evelina Salonen, Henna Blomroos, and Missy Gannon in attendance this upcoming week. But after Tatar putting her full superiority on display in this return to the tour, her domination of this field on this track last year, and the event being over the span of 4 days, still has to be the overwhelming favorite heading into Nokia. For Silva, the competition field will only get more difficult, especially from the tee at the major. Will need to remain consistent and avoid OB and lean on her putting like she did this weekend, but needs to improve her C2 putting to push for a victory.
Over on the MPO side, Ricky Wysocki would kick off his tournament shooting the course record and leading by 4 strokes. After being told that score won't be touched in years, Ricky said hold my beer and shoots another clean round, this time just short, at 12 under. Jakub Semerad wasn't about to let some American high knee his way to the win, as he shot up the leaderboard higher than Ricky Warris had in 2016, into a tie for second place with newly announced Innova-sponsored player Vano Makala, who would end up securing his first podium finish with the new discs. This would also be his best finish at an elite event since his 3rd place at the DDO back in 2022. Gotta be the plastic, right? Wysocki still went into the final day with a 7-stroke lead, and I know the job of the commentators is to keep the audience's attention, but not even for a second did I think Ricky, the guy that went the entire tournament without a bogey, was giving up that lead. He must have heard the fake cries of Jakub coming back after Esa Pika, that's definitely not how you say it, was talking about missing the island, then missing the putt, and Semerad doing some sort of black magic to get back into it. All that yapping just for Ricky to birdie the last 5 holes to finish his worst round of the tournament at 8 down. That would also be Ricky's second win on the season and looking to make a push at the right time. But don't give me any bullshit about him in the Player of the Year race yet. AB literally just won his 4th event last week. I'd rather listen to the dude screaming get in the hole after each throw than that argument. But he did dominate this tournament, ending with a 5-stroke lead over Yakub, who finished his final round at 10 down. He was so far back, I'm not even going to talk about that layup that was dumb. Rounding out the top 5, you had Nicolas Antela, who moved up 7 spots into 4th, with Joey Anderson rocking the also stylish bucket hats overseas. And that's everything you need to know from the Kroll Open. It's Major Week, baby. The European Open starts this Thursday, so drop your pick down below, so then we know you aren't lying when you said AB was going to win from the jump like me. And make sure you don't miss out on anything you need to know from the disc golf world by smacking that subscribe button. Oh yeah, and if you want to know what iconic hole the PDGA made the European Open change, check out the video right here.